What's poppin', everybody? This is Sabre Fighting 4 with our first deck from the Astral Radiant set. And surprise, surprise, it's gonna be based on Stage 2, the Hisuian Decidueye, one of the starters from the Legends Arceus game. So this card, I always say Stage 2 Pokemon, regular Pokemon, are not good in the modern Pokemon TCG. It's been like this for years, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's the truth. And it's not really different with any of the regular Pokemon from Astral Radiance, but as always, they always give us a few Stage 2s and Stage 1s that maybe stand out a little bit more and may stand a chance. Not really, but at least they can do better than the other regular Pokemon. And this Hisuian Decidueye is one of those cards. So the appeal of this card is the Piercing Claw attack. Nothing really else about it is spectacular. 160 HP on a stage 2 is not good. It's going to die in one shot all the time. To retreat is nothing really spectacular. Direct arrow, we're not going to use that. Psychic weakness, typical since this is a fighting Pokemon. So besides the costless attack, it's not really any groundbreaking Pokemon. However, because this is a costless attack, if we build a deck completely centered around this attack, it means that we don't need to run energies. And when we don't need to run energies, this deck gains a lot of space. Any deck where you not going to run energies, not going to run any of a specific card type that's usually conventional in decks, it means you're going to be left with a lot of space. So what this deck, the advantage it has over other stage 2s or other regular Pokemon is that we have more room for techs and consistency cards. So maybe it's going to be fast enough and effective enough to do anything. So Piercing Claw, the attack, does 30 times for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's going to do solid damage if your opponent has a few damage counters on them. So for example, if they have 5, then it does 150 for no energy, which is pretty solid. And best case scenario, we can hope for 2-hit KOs on V-Stars, maybe V-Maxes, and I guess regular Vs too. So this is basically the point of this attacker. 3 Decidueye, I only managed to get 3, but we'll get by. I have Pokemon Recovery in this deck, of course. And the basic Pokemon, you max out the Rowlet, your basic Pokemon. This one's 60 HP, the other one has 50, so that's why I chose this one. The attacks don't matter because we don't run a single energy in this deck. And then I do the one Dartrix, also from the Astral Radiant set, 90 HP, the best one. That's why. And this is the Decidueye line. Now, originally, when I reviewed this card, the Pokemon that came to my mind as an obvious partner were the Frogs, Inteleon with Drizzly. Obvious stuff is obvious. You know, you put damage counters to that guy's effect, and it's going to build up the Piercing Claw attack. But that ability is just too slow. By the time you get out Inteleon, it's just too slow. It's too few damage counters. It's not really that effective. And I did actually build this deck with Inteleons first. I built it with Inteleons, without Inteleons, without Bibarels. I did a lot of testing in this short period. The set came out, but I did a lot of testing. And it's just too slow for me. It wasn't very effective. And as another stage 2 line, Inteleon ate up a lot of space. So instead of that, we're just going to run a bunch of other costless attackers, like this Hisuian Overquill, also from the Astral Radiant set, and this Hisuian Braviary, also from the Astral Radiant set. So a full-fledged, Legends Arceus video game deck right here. All of the Hisuian Pokemon, Hisuian variants. So, gonna get these stage 1s out. They do cheap, fast damage, no energies once again, so very easy to use, not really much commitment. And with a few damage counters, they're going to soften up the V-Stars and V-Pokemon, and then Decidueye can come and finish the job, essentially. So this is going to be the plan for this deck. Now, in Expanded, this would be maybe even better, because perhaps you can use the Alolan, I guess, variants, like Alolan Raticate, that does more damage. These guys don't do that much damage. Hisuian Braviary is going to do Psywave 30 times for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So they need to have at least 3 energies for you to do 90 costless. If you have 9 damage counters and then this guy attacks, you're going to be getting KOs. 60, I guess that could work as well. 180 plus 60, it's 240, but it's not going to do the job on V-Stars, so it's not going to be a 2-hit KO, which is what you want. So if you can at least inflict 90 damage, then you're good enough. I do a 2-2 line of Breviary because it is a bit risky. I mean, some Pokemon don't use a lot of energies. Most Pokemon use at least 3 energies right now, like Arceus V-Star and other Pokemon, so it should be solid, but I do a 3-3 of Hisuian Overquill because I guess with poison, maybe it's going to add up. This guy inflicts auto poison with its costless attack, but instead of 1 damage counter, you put 5. So it's basically 5 damage counters if they don't stick around, if they switch, 5 damage counters. And if they don't, that's 100, and then you're good to go. You're getting the 1-hit KO no matter what, or 2-hit KO. So I favor Hisuian Overquill a little bit more than Breviary. You can do the Hisuian Electrode as well if you want, and that's about it. There's not really any other costless Pokemon right now. The Sun and Moon guys rotated a while back, but these should be decent options. So 3-3 Overquill, 2-2 Breviary. Hisuian Quillfish can also attack as well. You're going to have to flip a bunch of coins, but if you get heads, then you're going to put some free damage on the board as well. So that's good enough. So this is the guys basically. Rufflet, we can't do anything, unfortunately. Okay. And then for the last Pokemon, I guess the main Pokemon at least, is a 2-2 Bibarel line for draw power. I had this deck with this guy, then I took him out and made a bigger line for Breviary and Overquill. Then I went back to Bibarel. At the end of the day, I think you should run this guy. I mean, you can run more supporters and just run more Pokemon instead of the Bibarel line, but he gives you consistency. He can help, so I decided to just put him back again. I think he's better, a 2-2. I don't want to have too many Pokemon, but we kind of have to, even without any energies. I want to keep it at least to 3 different Pokemon lines per deck. In this case, it's 4. But it is what it is. Bibarel is going to have to put in the work. It is a great card, of course. And then the last Pokemon is just one Manaphy for Snipe, Bench Protection. Usually, if you bench it and your opponent doesn't run such attacks, then it's just going to waste a valuable spot on the bench. Bench space is going to be really important because obviously you want to have at least 2 Decidueye, you want to have a Bibarel, at least 1, and then you want to have the other Hisuian attackers too. So a lot of space is needed. Free space on the bench. But, I mean, if you do play against sniping Pokemon, then Manaphy is going to be good. Yeah, basically that's it. Nothing else. Just wave Veil, prevent bench damage. So 23 Pokemon, really big line, but we can kind of afford it because we're running 0 energies in this deck. So the rest of the cards is going to be 37 trainer cards, all about consistency and a few techs. So since we're running regular Pokemon, small Pokemon in this deck, Level Ball is maxed out. Gonna get me the small guys. I also have Double Quick Ball. This one has a cost, and we don't really like discarding costs in this deck too much, but this is still a great card to run since we don't have Nest Ball. So 2 of this, and then we got 1 Great Ball as well. Shout out to the old school Master Ball from the original EX era. This is basically what this is. A card that I almost never run, but in this case, it's going to be good because we have a big skeleton of Pokemon, 23. I'm usually going to reveal something, so it's not going to be dead. Now, if we had Pokemon Communication, you would have definitely seen that instead of this here. But Great Ball is going to do for now. And then for Evolution Searching, we max out the Evolution Incense. Just a lot of Evolution Pokemon to grab. This is the best card to run for this. And I also have the 1 Ultra Ball as well. This is double discard, but it's another method to grab Evolution Pokemon. Sometimes it's going to be valuable to have, and it's going to save you. So if I have some stuff that I don't need, depending on the game state, or supporters that I don't need, just stuff that I don't need, dead stadiums, dead whatever cards like Manaphy, then it's gonna meet the cost. Like this tool scrap right here, maybe we're not gonna need that, so it should be good. So these are the Pokemon searchers, I suppose. As always, in a stage 2 deck, we max out the rare candy. I guess I shouldn't say as always, but in most cases. Gonna help me get out the Decidueye effectively. You gotta have this rare candy. And then we do a little bit of recovery. In this deck, I do the one ordinary rod. I tried to find out if we had anything better in the standard format than this, because I don't use basic energies in this deck, so I would rather like have something like Sacred Ash, which recovers more Pokemon, but we don't have that. We don't have anything that's going to give more than 2, so Ordinary Rod, and I also do the Rescue Carrier too. This is going to be good to get the small Pokemon with this. You can put them in the hand too, so you can play them down immediately. And then I can use the Rod to recover 2 Decidueyes or another evolution Pokemon, as opposed to just usually what you're going to do with Rod, you're going to grab one of your stage 2 and then your basic form. You don't really have much of a choice. But in this case, because I got Carrier, I'm going to get the small guys with this. So that's the plan, basically. Okay. The one tool scrapper, can kind of afford space to run more text like this card, so I want to have it. Get rid of my opponent's tools. It might help. So one of these cards. And basically, I mean, that's most of the items. The tools, you got 2 choice belt. Gonna definitely help me out with securing those 2 hit KOs, extra damage on Decidueye. Ever so important. I wish I could run more, but I mean, even with no energies, I mean, we had to. There's just no space. I mean, I'm running a lot of cards, a lot of Pokemon. You guys see, I'm maxing out all of the like balls and stuff. So 2, it's gonna be good enough, I guess. Use it at the right time. And then the last, I guess, trainer cards. It's gonna be some switching cards, and I need to stress this a lot. In this deck, one of its weaknesses is if you don't run any switching cards, thinking they're not important, what your opponent can do is use boss's orders, get a Pokemon stuck, and because you don't have energies, like even if you were running Pokemon with only 1 retreat, which we don't, but if we did, then you'd still be infinitely stuck. So switching cards are important. So for this reason, I do double scoop up net. Just instant scoop up, put the Pokemon in the hand. So maybe if somehow this guy gets hit, he doesn't die, and we can put him back in the hand, I guess. If they promote a fresh Pokemon and this guy can't attack it, we got to use a different attacker. But for the most part, it's just going to be like a switching card put back in the hand, like a Bibarel that's stuck or whatever that's stuck. You never know. And then double switch. Because I'm running all regular Pokemon, I thought, hey, this has utility over switch. So instead of just maxing out the switch, I do 2 and 2. 2 scoop up net, 2 switch. I think it makes sense. You could do something like, I guess, the bird keeper if you want to, which is like a supporter that's going to give you switching as well. But item switch I think is more effective the way I have my deck build. So just 2 and 2, it's going to do it. And then the stadium of choice, it's going to be Path to the Peak. Got the secret rare from Astral Radiance. This is one of the main, I guess, only benefits that regular Pokemon have. They can utilize this stadium. It's not really going to affect them, and it could affect really badly your opponent. Every time I'm going to fucking use it. Like, if I don't play it, wait for my opponent to play it, play their stadium so I can counter theirs, then they never play theirs. They used all of their abilities, and then I was conservative for nothing. If I play it immediately, it always gets discarded. So you're always fucked no matter what you do, but it's still a great stadium. Path to the Peak. You should use it in this deck. I mean, I guess there's a few other options you can try out. There's the new like Parthenon, like temple thing from this set as well. That's gonna make all DC special energies just do 1. So it's kind of gonna counter Arceus, but this counters Arceus too, and I think it's just a stronger stadium, so that's why we run it. So 3 of this, hopefully it puts in the work. And then the only thing that's left is the supporters. A lot of supporters. We got the 1 boss's orders to win games. No way to recover this card, so hopefully you use it at the right time. You don't waste it. Hopefully you don't have to discard it. So it's this dude. We do the triple Marnie. Disruption, decent draw. We don't have N or Cynthia, so I gotta use this. We got 1 Cynthia's Ambition. Your Pokemon are more likely going to be dying turn after turn, so this is going to give you the +8 plus condition it gives, so that's good. Worst comes to worst, draw into have 5 should be decent too if you have a low hand size. I do 1 of the Schoolgirl. Start of the game, this is nice. It's going to be a solid draw 4 without shuffling your hand or just discarding your hand. So decent, I like it. The 1 Skyla, such a deck for any trainer card. Obviously, you guys know I love me the Skyla because of her utility. You only get 1 card, but it can grab as a candy, grab as a switch, grab as a stadium in this case. It's great. If you were running the Frogs, the Inteleon line, because I did run them, instead of Skyla, I was running 2 of the Irida bitch, the new chick from this set, which is basically a Corina for water Pokemon. You grab any water Pokemon and then you grab an item. Much stronger when you have that sort of a theme going and you get that extra bonus from Skyla. You wouldn't be able to get a Stadium, but it's still a double search at the end of the day. A lot of the time with Skyla, you're getting items anyway. But since I'm not running those guys anymore, I had to adjust the deck and just get rid of those. But just thought I'd mention it. If you do really want to try this deck out and you got to use Inteleon no matter what, don't forget about Irida. It's going to help you out. 1 Professor Oak. This is basically the best supporter we got right now when it comes to draw power, but I mean, in my decks, a lot of my decks, I can't afford to discard shit. This isn't Darkrai. So if you use a bunch of these and then you're discarding your candies and your Pokemon, you're not going to have a good time. So I only do 1, and hopefully we don't see him. Like sometimes even that this just 1 copy, you're going to see it when you have a bunch of things you don't want to discard, and then you're always screwed no matter what you do. So just 1 copy. Gotta run other supporters. And then the last supporter, we do want a Gloria as well for another Pokemon fetcher through a supporter. So between her, the balls, hopefully I can get like every turn a bunch of Pokemon, just have my setup ready, get at least 1 Bidoof to evolve into Bibarel, get like a Rowlet, get some of these Hisuian starting attackers, and then we can set up. And this is basically the deck, guys. I'm going to show you guys matches. It can put in some work, but take what I just said with a grain of salt. It's not going to be like tier 0 or anything. I mean, this guy, because he's fighting, he would normally have a great benefit of hitting Arceus V-Star for weakness, but because there's the Dunsparce too, I've seen people run that card and then the weakness is no longer a factor. And then the other thing, like even with the weakness, I mean, you need to attack with somebody else first, put some damage counter so this guy can attack. On his own, this guy can't do anything. Like, you need to have damage counters on your foe before this guy attacks. So whether it's Inteleon, whether it's through these Pokemon, you need damage. So a lot of the times, you know, it's just too slow. You gotta attack with these guys. I mean, sometimes the damage isn't enough. It's not going to be a 2-hit KO. It's going to be a 3-hit KO. If you can usually do 90 damage, then it's a 2-hit KO no matter what. But if you do like 50, 60 even, then you can't really get the 2-hit KO. I thought of maybe using this in Expanded so I can use like the Allure Eradicate. That guy's going to do like 60 and more damage if we put tools on him. So it could be better, but you know what? I gotta show this in Standard first. So yeah, can't always rely on Expanded for the additional card pool. There's more competition there too. So I want to show you guys ways to, you know, use the new cards from the set in Standard. So build this in Standard, put in some work. I'm going to show you guys matches. I don't think there's many other effective ways to build this deck. I mean, your only other option is to use something like Inteleon. You can't use Zigzagoon because you're going to be forced to be using Scoop Up Nets on those guys to get the damage. It's not effective. It's just too inefficient. And then you get rid of your switching outlets. So it's not good. You got to use like Inteleon if you're not going to use these guys, which gives you 2 damage counters every turn. You need to have at least 3 out and gain the effect every time, because if you don't have like at least 50, 60 damage, This guy is not going to be getting those one-hit KOs or those two-hit KOs. Okay, and then the saddest part is he always dies in one shot. At least if we could survive. But every time Arceus attacks this guy, he's going to die. That's the problem. It pisses me off, but it's the reality. So, this is Hisuian Decidueye. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. If you like the deck, stay tuned for the matches. And I'll see you guys there. Saber Final 4. What I